The Bible said in the book of Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice, O heaven, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time. And that short time, he wants to maximize it by killing, stealing, and destroying. John 10:10. That's what he does with that short time. He's not using the short time to do business. He's utilizing this short time in killing. When the plague of death was moving in Egypt, it went to everybody's house, and in one night it killed human beings firstborn. It know those he was looking for, because the first that plague was moving with was for the firstborns. Firstborn of human, firstborn of animal, even ant firstborn died that night. That's how the plague of death was. Rat firstborn died, cockroach firstborn, anything firstborn. The death knew what he was looking for. Death was intentional. So death is an entity. Paul addressing death in 1 Corinthians 15 from verse 54. So when this corruptible has put on incorruptible, and this mortal has put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed in victory. Then the next verse says, oh death, where is your sting? So death have a sting. That's why I told you it's a plague. So death is an entity and it has a sting. Say, oh death, where is your sting? Hades is a person. In the Greek genealogy, Hades is an angel. Even death is just a fallen angel. Oh death, where is your sting? Oh Hades, where is your victory? Both of them move together. As death is taken, is storing people in Hades. When Jesus died and resurrected in the book of Revelation 1:18, I am he who lives and was dead, and behold, I'm alive forevermore. Amen. And I have the keys of Hades and of death. Meaning what Jesus went to do when he died, he went to Hades and he went to death and took the key from death and said, death, you can't choose who should die anymore. When we are talking about key, we are not saying the bunch of key you carry to open your car. Key means access. So before, death could decide who should die. He could say, I want to take this person, I want to take this family, I want to take this amount of people in this nation. Jesus said, I have taken the key of death. So death cannot choose who should die again in your life or your family. People just die foolishly and carelessly. You know to stand your ground. I took the key of Hades. That's why I told you when Jesus resurrected, the Bible said in Matthew that many of the saints that were dead were seen in Jerusalem moving around. Meaning they were caged before in Hades. They were dead. So Moses, Noah, people saw them moving around in Jerusalem when Jesus resurrected. Because he didn't only die and resurrect, he died, resurrected, opened the gates of Hades. That's why David was saying it, that when Jesus died, a gate was challenging Jesus. Who is the King of glory? That is Hades that was challenging him. Because he said, lift up your head, O ye gate, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting door. Let the King of glory come in. Let him go into Hades. Let him go to the grave and release those that have been caged and be subject to death. Lift up your head, O ye gate, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting door. Let the King of glory come in. And Hades responded back, who is the King of glory? He's challenging him. So when it comes to living long, you have to challenge. You don't keep quiet. He said, lift up your head, O ye gates, and be lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. And Hades asks, who is the King of glory? Meaning, in whose authority are you coming? Don't you know that the key was given to me by Adam? He said, it is the Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. And he commanded it again, lift up your head, O ye gates, let the King of glory come in. He said, who is the King of glory? He said, the Lord of hosts is the King of glory. Then David said, Selah, think about it. This is a meditation, meaning every believer must confront death. So for you as a believer, death is a choice. It's not force. It can't come suddenly. It can't take you unaware. To a believer, there's nothing like sudden death. You choose when to go. You can choose. It's a choice. In Deuteronomy 30 from verse 19, God said, I have set before you. I call heaven and earth to bear witness today that I have set before you life and death. It's not devil that kill or God that kill. He has set it before you. Choose. And Jesus said, I have conquered Hades and have conquered death. death. And you see, that key I got from there, I gave it to you. So meaning Jesus will not regulate who should die. You should regulate it in your family. You can't be in that family and be saying, Jesus, you see, people are dying in my family. It's not him that is in control. Yes, it's you. If he said he took the key, all power has been given unto me, and he gave it to you. And he said to Peter, he said, upon this rock I will build my church, and I've given you the keys, and the gate of hell shall not prevail. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. So the keys of life and death have been handed over to you. And one place you find that key is on your tongue. So you must speak. He said life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it, you have to use your tongue. Talk to death, talk to Hades. Not my family, not my blood. Even when people are dying, I shall not die. If you don't talk, you will rot. David said, you will not allow my soul to rot in the grave. If you don't talk, you rot, meaning rotting. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of your tongue. The key, the access of it is in your tongue. These are the 3 ways you know spirit of death is calling you, or is possessing you, or is following you. 3 ways. It's either you start talking about death always. I feel like I want to die. Anytime you are talking, it is around you. He said life and death are in the power of your tongue. So if you are talking, it is there watching you. It's telling you that you should be speaking it into existence. The key is in your mouth. So anytime you hear somebody saying, I feel like dying, I think I will soon die, I don't see myself living long, I am finished. Once you start making such statements, you are creating your casket. 2, you always think of death. Anytime you find yourself in a vehicle, you say a car is moving, you say, I feel like I'm going to hit someone. Death is talking to your mind. He said, I have set before you. When a table is set, you choose. So death is telling you to choose him. So anytime you find yourself in a vehicle, you feel you will jam someone, or somebody will jam you. You want to enter an airplane, you feel you will die. Something is telling you you will sleep and not wake up. Death is looming around you. And the only way to attack death is with life. In Psalm 118, I shall not die but live. Death only hear life. Death does not hear fasting and prayer. Attack it with life. I shall not die but live, to declare the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. That choice is for you. I have set before you. So David said, I shall not die but live. He said, the Lord has chastened me so sore, but he has not given me unto death. That's what he said. No matter what you are going through, you have not been handed over to death. Then I say, I shall not die but live. If you always talk death, death is looming around you. If you always think death, death is looming around you or somebody in the family. Then number 3, if you always dream of mingling, eating with dead people, see yourself in the graveyard, in the casket, death is looming around you, and you have to attack it. Are you hearing me? See, anytime you see yourself eating with a dead person in your dream, mostly eating means communion. So meaning you are in the same path, you are fellowshipping with the spirit of death. So how do I attack it? When I discover myself always thinking of death, I speak life. I think life. So if you think of I will hit somebody, the same thought you are using, use it to think what you will do if you are alive. That's it. The same place the death is using, use that same place. If it's thinking how you will hit somebody, how a car will hit you, or how you will die, you think what you will do if you are alive. If you will see tomorrow, what do you think about tomorrow? I see myself tomorrow going to my work, going to serve my God, blessing people's life. That is how to think life. Simple. That's how to think it. Then this how you don't say, hey, I feel like dying. It's I'm enjoying my life. I will keep living. I will live to declare the goodness of the Lord in the land of. Then if you keep on having dreams of seeing yourself dead and eating with the dead, simple, get your communion, eat with Jesus Christ. The Bible said we are seated in heavenly places, far above principalities and powers. So whenever you are taking your communion, you are dining with Jesus. They gave you food in your dream, you went to heaven to eat with Jesus. Anytime you are taking communion, you are dining with Jesus. He said, I will knock at the door of your heart. If anyone will hear me, I will come in and dine with him, eat with me. So who you are dining with will depend what you will manifest. If you dine with Jesus, you will manifest life. That's why Paul called the communion table, he said, the Lord's table. Who do you want to eat with? If they visit you unintentionally, visit Jesus intentionally. You have choice. Choose it this day. You know the food you ate in your dream is not intentional, but the communion table is intentional. When Abner was killed. 2 Samuel 33. And the king sang a lament over Abner and said, should Abner die as a fool die? Your hand were not bound. Meaning you know all the weapon I gave to you to survive, to live long, of an army. But he died without knowing. His enemy called him, Joab called him, said, come, I want to talk to you. And while both of them was talking, he just brought out his sword and stabbed him. A warrior, a general should not die like that. If you are a warrior, you are a fighter. Once you come close to another fighter, you should be fight conscious. They will always tell you if you are a boxer or you are fighting that don't turn your back on your opponent. Always defend yourself. We are in a warfare. Death was conquered, but death is still fighting. Hades have been defeated, but they are still wrestling. So we are not dying the death of a fool. We are using every weapon we know, every weapon that have been handed over to us, the key that have been given to us, we are using it. In Genesis 6 from verse 3, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There is an appointed years for every man. Then when you want to say it's too long for you, in Psalm 90 from verse 10, David said, the days of our lives are 70 years, and if by reason of strength they are 80 years. You see that? So you can choose 120, 70 or 80. Every human being have a birthday and a death day, and according to what God said for you, he said you have 120 to choose, you have 70 and you have 80. Choose one. When you are hearing there's a plague of death, you are not shaking. You know your appointed date, you know your birthday. When you are aware of what I'm saying, nobody can take your life. In Luke 13 from verse 1, we saw where he said there were present at that season some that told him of the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with sacrifice. Meaning Pilate was killing, and he was not just killing anybody, he was even interested in Jesus, because in verse 31 they came to tell Jesus, say, Pilate is looking for you. He said on that very day some Pharisee came saying to him, get out, depart from here, for Herod wants to kill you. Pilate is killing in that season. The same chapter they said, Jesus, they are also looking for you. Jesus said, and he said to them, go and tell that fox, behold, I cast out demon, perform cures today and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected. I know when I should go. It's not today, it's not tomorrow. Madigagu gaga, meaning not even doctor and sickness can choose a day for you. Doctor say, just prepare your life, you have only 14 days to live. He said, that's not my birthday, that's not my death day also. This is what we call victory over premature death. So even the doctor verdict is not permanent. You can change it, because you know your birthday and you know your death day. And he promised us in Psalm 91 from verse 15, he said, he shall call upon me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him. With long life, not short life, long life. Now, in Genesis 15 from verse 15, God told Abraham, he said, now as for you, you shall go to your father in peace. You shall be buried at a good old age. He's talking to a 90-years-old man. In Genesis 25 from verse 7, this is the sum of the years of Abraham's life, which he lived 175 years. Then Abraham breathed his last and died in a good old age, because God told him. He was telling him when he was still in his 90s, you will die in good old age. And 175, he really died a good old age, an old man full of years, and was gathered to his people. He transmitted also to Isaac, Genesis 35:28. Now the days of Isaac were 180 years. So Isaac breathed his last and was gathered to his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. In Genesis 47 from verse 28, and Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the length of Jacob's life was 147 years. The God you are serving is God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Is the God of long life. Nobody supported God in sending your spirit here, and nobody should assist God to take you away. When you choose to go to the mall to get something, you didn't ask anybody, should I come or should I not come? You choose to go, and when you are done, you return. This life is a market, it's a mall. You decide when to come with God, and you decide when to return to God. Another person again is Hezekiah. In the book of Isaiah 38 from verse 1, in those days Hezekiah was sick and near death, and Isaiah the prophet son of Amos, went to him and said to him, thus says the Lord, set your house in order, for you shall die and not live. You know, doctors give verdict like this. Even a prophet can give a verdict. The prophet was not talking on his own. It's God that told him. He's not a prophet of doom. God showed him that this person is time. Let him set his house in order. So meaning we can negotiate with God. And Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed to the Lord. And he said, remember now, O Lord, I pray, how I have walked before you in truth, with a loyal heart. I've been going to church since, so I've been sweeping in church, I've been serving, I've been helping orphans, I've given to the widows. Remember, if you don't have what to remind God, you won't have what to negotiate with God. You can negotiate your debt when you have something to remind God of.